So let's try to recreate that. You get on a train and you call me when the train is coming and I will have him tell the story. To me, that was like, this is super crazy, but I kind of get it because every family has their own version of that.
Om man inte gör den här resan så tror jag inte han är med oss så länge till. Det är inte som det var förr.
Well, we are going to talk about the last journey. And, well, being a journalist is to tell stories, but on this occasion, it was to share a very personal one. So, Filip, how do you feel when you saw the finished film?
Well, it was a process, obviously. So I saw many versions before we had like, this is it. So I don't know. It was very much of an organic process. But I didn't when it premiered in Sweden. It was a weird thing to see it with others. I would say when everyone was there, we had your parents there, and you like the reaction. It's so hard when you're in the middle of a creative process. You can never say, hey, this film is going to be a success. You can never. I mean, I never trust those if I have those feelings. You know, it's more, I don't. You know. We had no idea that this film would. I mean, we liked it. Me and Fredrik, we've seen it many times. But it was like, will this film resonate? Will people, will the story be engaging enough? And it was, So it's been a incredible little adventure, this film. And just talking to you, it makes it continuous. Like where someone in Mexico has seen it, and we're humble. Believe it or not.
Okay. Well, Fredrik, what led you to join to this adventure?
Well, I mean, I've known Philip's dad as long as I've known Philip, and I've been best friends with him since the mid-90s. So when I've also seen the way Philip's dad, his health has deteriorated. He's just sitting at home. And when Philip told me, I want to do something to try and bring him back to life, I want to go on this road trip to the south of France. And we started talking about that there is something movie-like about that. You can almost like picture a feature film be doing the exact same thing. So we started talking about maybe we can film this process with a very, very small crew and try to keep it very intimate and see if there is a universal theme there for people to relate to. So I also knew what a great man Philip's dad is. Had he been a more boring person, maybe I wouldn't have been as excited, but he's both very funny and a very good like human being. So it felt like the raw material was there.
Okay. I imagine that at the moment of selecting the material, there were so emotional moments. Could you share some of them or one of them? I don't know.
Well, I mean, it's obviously the scene on the beach in the end, where we had asked my dad's students throughout the year to just, I just posted something on Facebook. I said, hey, if there's anyone who wants to say something to my dad, please, film yourself. And just poured in all these clips from people. We were not able to include everyone in that collage, but and then just sitting there and seeing that was it was powerful when it happened on the beach, but also when I see it on a screen, when you see the film and see how it really makes people cry, because there's something. It's not my dad is also a symbol there. It's like it's just the thing with legacy, for someone to be able to hear what great things you have achieved in life, it's so beautiful and it's so touching still, when I see that.
Okay. Well, for me, it was a little bit difficult to be objective is watching the film because my dad had a heart attack in the middle of the last year. So this
Oh,
film
wow. Sorry to hear
spoke
that.
to me, all too well. But this film will speak to me in a very personal level. So I want to know what you hope to convey to those who see the film.
Well, what we try to achieve, what we try to make here is a movie that makes you ideally both laugh and cry, because that's what we feel life is. I mean, if you make a documentary, most of the time, a lot of people make very, very dramatic, dark comedies, and it's serious. But we wanted this to be I mean, take its subject seriously. It's about aging, and it's about the impossibility of seeing a loved one getting older. You want them to stay the same. That's part of, I mean, the fabric of life. You want people or things to stay the same. So if we can talk about this very serious topic in a fun way, but also in a sad way, and make people feel a lot of things, maybe think about their own families, but and maybe appreciate life more. That's a tall order, I know, but that's what we sort of tried.
Okay. Well, in the movie and in the production notes, Philip, you said you treat your dad if as if he was Winston Churchill himself. Clearly, for all of us, our father is our superhero. I should accept that more public than I do. But what was it like to accept the aging of your father?
It's interesting why I have to say what you say, point something out. I don't think we ever really articulated that the way you did it. It's like our dads or our mothers could be, they are superheroes. It's really true. That's why we sort of, that the film, I treat him as a superhero, even though he's just a dad, he's not whatever celebrity I can come up with here or some legendary person. But to me, he's
Philip, you're out of the frame almost.
Okay. To me, he's something really, truly special. So I think that is, that probably when we started talking about this film, we also said, what if we can make a film where people, when they leave the movie theaters, they'll pick up their phones and they might, give their dad or another loved one, their mom or someone, a call and say, like, just to reconnect in some way, with someone. And I think that's what been interesting with this film. It's a film about, I guess, also the importance of what's in the end it's most important in life. It's always family in the end that people cherish the most. And I mean, we had no plan of what this film gonna be or how it will change people or how it will change me even. But I think to me, I have a better relationship with my dad in many ways now than I had before. But before I was so desperate to try to make him become the dad he once was all the time. You want him to be, cheer up, dad, come on, it's not as bad as you think, blah, blah, blah. But that has sort of, I realized that doesn't do any good, and it doesn't do any good to me. What the best thing I can get out of this is like spending time with my dad, even though it's in person or on the phone, but not talking about the status of his health all the time, or try to make him, cheer him up, whatever. I let him be whoever he wants to be a little bit more now, I think. And I think that's important.
Fredrik, for you, you said, no, I met Philip in mid-90s. So being doing this road trip, there's for saying like that, which ones is living those stories, anecdotes now in life and in that places. Which one was your favorite? Or
Well, that's a good. I mean, I've always admired sort of the relationship Philip and Philip's dad had, because they always told stories to each other. And in my house where I grew up, it was more quiet. People didn't really talk that much. So to me, it was like fascinating to me to hear Philip describe the way his dad used to stand on the balcony and tell stories, and every once in a while a train would pass by, and the noise from the train would be so loud that his dad had to pause the story and wait for the train to pass by and then continue. And for Philip to romanticize this and say that was the best moments of my life when my dad was telling this story. So let's try to recreate that. You get on a train and you call me when the train is coming and I will have him tell the story. To me, that was like, this is super crazy, but I kind of get it because every family has their own version of that.
Nu Lars, vilket äventyr! Ja, den sista resan.
Well, we'll be very happy if people give it a chance. Yeah. It's a story that I think is relatable. It doesn't matter where you live.